Hey, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm not here to change the minds of your viewers, Winston Frederick Sterzel, or convince them of anything. I just want to provide information, Winston Frederick Sterzel, that your viewers should consider when you make certain statements, right? Well, it's my opinion, Winston Frederick Sterzel, that your viewers are not only being lied to, but that the China show conspires to lie to them in order to sensationalize your content for profit, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Whether it's from YouTube AdSense, Super Chats, Patreon members, or, Winston Frederick Sterzel, potentially from government sources. It's all about profit. And your viewers call me a shill, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Can you imagine that?
You cross over into Shenzhen, nothing.
Nothing.
You might see a stray bird that has flown in from Hong Kong by mistakes. There are no birds in China.
There are no birds in China to begin with.
Like absolutely none. And okay, you cross over into Shenzhen, nothing.
Nothing.
You might see a stray bird that has flown in from Hong Kong by mistakes. There's not a bird to be seen. There are no birds in China. Well,
What's the follow-up?
There's still no birds in China. There are no birds. Literally like no birds.
No.
There are no birds in China. You cross over into Shenzhen, nothing.
Nothing.
You might see a stray bird that has flown in from Hong Kong by mistakes. There are no birds in China. Well,
What's the follow-up?
there's still no birds in China. There's not a bird to be seen.
There are no birds in China to begin with.
Like absolutely none. And okay.
No birds in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel, really? Well, these egrets must be the latest DJI drones, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? They're silent, lifelike, and surprisingly good at fishing, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Did I mention that the presence of egrets automatically confirms the presence of fish in the water, Winston Frederick Sterzel? In a waterway, Winston Frederick Sterzel, running through the middle of a city of 14 million people. I think that's impressive, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Do you? You're welcome to tell me in the comments section below, Winston Frederick Sterzel. It's right down there. Anyone who watched my video from the other day, Winston Frederick Sterzel, on this same topic, has already seen the following clip. The only difference is that I deleted all the scenes of me, Winston Frederick Sterzel, when I was mostly in various brand new, beautiful, new subway stations. I did leave in the one translation that I did, Winston Frederick Sterzel, but it seemed kind of necessary. Otherwise, Winston Frederick Sterzel, it's the same video. Today, Winston Frederick Sterzel, I'm doing a follow-up to that video from the other day in order to provide more concise information, Winston Frederick Sterzel. But anyone who watched the video the other day, Winston Frederick Sterzel, will have seen the next 4 minutes and 15 seconds of video, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If you, Winston Frederick Sterzel, or they, the other people watching, need to get up and make a coffee or take a quick bathroom break, new content on this video will resume in about 4 minutes and 15 seconds, plus a couple of seconds. Hold on. I do feel the need to include this clip for context, Winston Frederick Sterzel. For anyone watching this video, Winston Frederick Sterzel, who didn't see my video from the other day. This 4 minute and 15 second clip is not an uncut version from The China Show, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You'll be able to pick that up right away, right? That's because in your live show, Winston Frederick Sterzel, you included a lot of nonsense like this.
So, he's fanning the flames. He's fanning the flames, yeah.
Okay, here's the 4 minute and 15 second clip, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So go take your quick bathroom break or make a coffee.
All right, guys. So here's
the big one.
Yeah,
share
the meat
this out now.
meat and potatoes.
This is a big one.
Okay. It has been insane. Okay, what you're seeing behind us right now, just a couple of clips over the last month of fires that have broken out in China. But we thought we'd break it down for you. So these are some of the areas that have burned this month.
Let's see here what they are.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with the Blue Star Power Plant in Shaoxing in Zhejiang. Guys, all those other places, we're going to show you a map later, but they've all been burning this month. So we thought, here we've got definitive dates. This is the 16th of February.
This is wild.
This is a power plant.
A major power plant. But do you know what you got to do when you have a power plant, when you're deceiving the world about your carbon emissions?
What?
You have to pay your workers.
Yes, you do have to pay your workers, otherwise this happens.
This happens. Don't you think Just riddle me this. That if American workers set a major power plant on fire and destroyed the whole thing, causing tens of millions of dollars in damage.
Yeah.
Tens of millions per plant.
Easy.
That would make big news.
Yeah, you would think so.
Was this on the news?
Nope.
Why not?
Because it's censored. You're not supposed to see this.
This is what we call ruination. This is a translated into English. It means ruination. It's been going around the Chinese internet. It's the idea that people are destroying things on purpose, particularly industry, manufacturing, and energy. Yes.
Okay. All those other ones you saw before, that's all from February. Now this, the 16th, we had a second big fire on the 16th over here in Shanghai. This is the Shanghai Good Day Logistics.
Yes.
You know?
This is what happens when you don't pay your employees. When we tell you China's economy is in shambles right now, it's not based on some random economic data. It is based on the fact that people are revolting across the entire country, particularly in the manufacturing hub areas.
Correct. Because we've seen some of these are 100% confirmed that it's disgruntled wage earners that have not been paid in months that have set it on fire. Some of them are just suspicious.
Yes. Insurance fraud. Assumes it's that. And we hear, oh, nope. They found the guy that did it.
Yeah.
He ganged everyone together. They're like, we're literally poor. We haven't paid us in 6 months.
Yeah.
We're going to set this place on fire.
Well, this is a Chongqing warehouse, 22nd floor.
Here we go again. This is the 22nd
I wonder if
floor
a train went into that building and caused it to catch fire.
When translated, the notice says that the cause of the fire is still under investigation. It doesn't confirm employees started the fire because they weren't paid for 6 months. Winston Frederick Sterzel, you're being deceptive to your viewers, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
This was a disgruntled wage situation, and this warehouse completely burned to the ground.
Wow. And this was, confirmed disgruntled workers, not paid.
Yep.
Unpaid workers.
This is another, huge. This is
It's huge.
downtown in the middle of this urban area. Again, where's the news? If you had a massive, power plant on fire or a power company burned to the ground in the middle of Chicago or something, I'm sure you would have heard about it.
Where is the news coverage on this in China and abroad?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it? By the way, next day in Fujian, we had a gas station and then another fire in
Factory,
Fujian.
yeah.
This is a factory burned down
yeah.
in Fujian. Get us out of there for a second.
This is every single day. Every day.
Every day. Yeah.
Every freaking day.
It's pretty insane.
Okay, I had already seen the clip for sure, right? Obviously, so. During the break, I counted the birds behind me, Winston Frederick Sterzel. There's more than 50 egrets, DJI drone egrets behind me, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I know you can't see some because they're behind the brush here. There's a bit of a hook in the stream right here. But I'm not sure what your viewers took away from that clip, Winston Frederick Sterzel. But for me, you're claiming that Chinese people aren't being paid for 6 months or longer, Winston Frederick Sterzel. And that's causing them to set fire to factories and power plants and warehouses, Winston Frederick Sterzel, every single day. Winston Frederick Sterzel. I wonder if your viewers believe that, Winston Frederick Sterzel. For the most part, many of your viewers will take that at face value, Winston Frederick Sterzel, because you said it. They believe anything you say. But, Winston Frederick Sterzel, they should, in fact, consider the following. In China, Winston Frederick Sterzel, arson is treated as a very serious crime. It's a danger to society. The most basic form of arson can land you in prison for 10 years, Winston Frederick Sterzel. For the types of fires you talked about on the China show, Winston Frederick Sterzel, factories and power plants and warehouses, you're looking at life imprisonment, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If anyone happens to get injured or killed in the fire, Winston Frederick Sterzel, what do you think is going to happen then? Or if there's really significant property damage, like the one clip you showed of the warehouse burnt to the ground, the penalty could be death, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Does that sound like something someone would risk over unpaid wages, Winston Frederick Sterzel? And let's talk about those unpaid wages for a minute, Winston Frederick Sterzel. It's absolutely illegal for employers to withhold pay in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. The law in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel, requires employees to be paid at least once a month, and a lot of people are actually paid monthly. If wages are withheld, Winston Frederick Sterzel, workers can file complaints with local authorities or even take legal action. Employers who violate these laws face fines, penalties, or even criminal charges, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I've seen this system in action personally myself, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Years ago, my factory failed to pay workers not just their monthly wages, but also the 13th month bonus ahead of Chinese New Year, Winston Frederick Sterzel. For any of your viewers that didn't know Winston Frederick Sterzel, most workers received an extra month's pay at Chinese New Year. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You're a Chinese expert, right? So in a city of migrant workers here in Shenzhen, Winston Frederick Sterzel, our workers went back to their hometowns for Chinese New Year that year with no money, Winston Frederick Sterzel. After Chinese New Year, Winston Frederick Sterzel, when the workers returned, one worker anonymously reported it to the local government. The CFO was forced to make changes and fast, Winston Frederick Sterzel. He changed something to do with the way payments were coming in from customers. When the factory owner found out about it, he's from Chicago, Winston Frederick Sterzel, he fired the CFO immediately and made it mandatory for the new CFO to pay salaries on or before the due date, no matter what, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So one complaint to local government, Winston Frederick Sterzel, was enough to get the CFO fired and helped ensure that everyone would get paid on time in the future, Winston Frederick Sterzel. That's how the system works here in China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So, Winston Frederick Sterzel, next time your viewers hear claims like these coming from you, all I'm asking is that your viewers should consider, first, does this make sense? Second, is there evidence to back it up? Are they showing you evidence or just saying it? And mostly important, who benefits from spreading this narrative? Winston Frederick Sterzel. The reason I made this follow-up video, Winston Frederick Sterzel, is to bring some reality into your claims, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You are taking advantage of your viewers' lack of knowledge, Winston Frederick Sterzel, to make sensational statements. For profit, of course. I'm not trying to convince your viewers of anything, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I just want them to know the facts, so they can make their own judgment.